Hey everyone, it's the founder of Developers Academy, and today welcome to Code Hangout number 3. Today in this video, in this Code Hangout, we're going to learn together how to use the Spring library to create very nice animation and at very low cost or very little effort. So literally, you don't have to write any line of code at all. Okay, and also I want to introduce you to something called a stack view. Stack view is a new feature in iOS 9, and it's really cool. If you are trying to learn auto layout, then I hope that you grab some ideas about auto layout. If you are not familiar with auto layout, just check it out. The link right down below. You will have access to our course about all things auto layout. But now, Stack View is a new feature in iOS 9, and with just very little effort, with very little auto layouts, you can be really complex UI. And to tell you about that, let's see, this is the app that we're going to build. And this is not on just one button, but when you click into this button, okay, and you'll see all of these icons animating inside the view very nicely. Okay, let me do it again. Okay. All right, very nicely. Okay, there are two things to notice here. The first thing is that these icons animate really nice, right? These animation, if you write in code, it could be rather complex. Like you have to move it up or and then wait, put the delay or something. Okay, it will be. I can imagine that several dozens lines of code. And if you are not familiar with trouble for you. The other thing is that putting auto layouts for 5 icons like this in a grid like that, it will be a rather complex task. Actually, it looks very simple, but it will be like for some developers, it will be very complex with auto layouts. But with Stack View, it is so much simpler. So let's download the starter project right down below. If you already did, great. And let's go ahead. Okay. This is our starter project, right? Maybe I'll just wait a few moments and I will show my screen for you. Here we go. All right. So here's the starter project that I prepared for you. I hope that you already downloaded. And if you are not watching this live, if you are watching this, a replay of this, then you can always download the starter project of this. Okay. Now, with this one, when you look at the starter project, there is a Spring library over here. Okay, this Spring library is the library written by Manto. He's a great writer of the book called Design Code. All right, and this library is especially great for you when you prototyped or even in your real app, in your shipping app, you ship app to the App Store, you put animation code in this. Okay, and to give you an idea about that, when you click into this, okay, and when you, this is a button, all right. Actually, it is an UI image view, but it can work for buttons, it can work for view, it can work for labels, anything. Okay, in this case, we are using an image view. Okay, so I will assign the class of designable image view. All right, if you are just starting out, we can just do design. All right, and I also include the link for you to check out. You can check out the documentation for this project, the Spring library. Okay, it can be designable button, it can be designable label, it can be designable text field. Almost every control in iOS has something like that. Okay. The next thing after there are actually 2 steps in this, just 2 steps for you to start animating stuff. The first one is select that control in storyboard. Okay, the second one is assign the class. The second one is go over the attribute inspector. Okay, here's the attribute inspector, and you see that it is not a normal inspector, the attribute of a designable of an image view anymore. It has more properties, and in fact, this is a more attributes added by the Spring library. Okay, you can add the border width, you can add the corner radius, and it will render immediately right in the storyboard for you. It is especially good for you to prototype apps. In this case, we are going to care about how to animate stuff. And this thing, the spring image view, okay, it has the animation, it has the force, delay, duration, damping, okay. These things are the one that help us to animate stuff. So let me show you about that, okay. All right. So now when you click to this icon, okay, when we are going to click this icon and the animation, I know in advance that I want to do something, an animation called up, okay, squeeze up like this, and then press enter, okay, and the force, just let it default. It is good, and we delay, okay. So from this view controller, when it appears and then it opens up like this, it will has delays of 0.3 seconds, okay. It will has a delay of 0.3 seconds, and then it will start animating. And I want the duration of the animation to be maybe just 0.8 second, okay, and that is good enough, okay. All right, so now let's run the project to see how it looks like. Okay, now here's the project, and let me run it again. Okay. Okay, bear with me here because we are live, so all right. Doesn't work. So let me restart that. Okay, now here's, all right, so here's the app. Xcode just scratched me, but that's okay. Now here's the app. When we click into this share this post button, okay, and then this YouTube icon, it moves up, it squeezes up, okay, it flies up, whatever you want to call it, but it's animates in, okay, very nicely. And you see it doesn't animate immediately, but it waits for 0.3 seconds, okay, and then that is the delay, and then it will animate the stuff, the icon, for 0.8 seconds. All right, just that simple. Okay, we don't have to do anything. All right, so now let's move on into this icon. Okay, we'll have to delay about, because the last one is 0.3 second of delay. So for this one, we want it to animate after the YouTube icon. So we want to do it 0.4. And the duration, I also want it to be 0.8. So that, okay, so that's 0.4. And how about this? This one, we can do it 0.5 of the delay, okay? And the duration, 0.8 again. All right. Now let's run the project to see how it looks like. Not iOS, but iPhone 6. And by the way, I'm running on Xcode 7 beta, okay? All right, so now let's click into this button. It doesn't work yet, so let's run it again. All right, I know what is wrong, because we haven't assigned the animation for this. So we'll need to assign the squeeze up animation, okay? Oops, this is not that. Squeeze up, copy that, paste it here, okay? And there are a lot more kinds of animation that you can check in, okay? In the inside the link to the project, you will see that there's the documentation. It has much more animation, right? So now let's see this. All right, it moves up really nicely. Okay, how about we will do this one also? Animation is squeeze up. Delay is 0.3. I'm sorry, 0.3, 4, 5. So this should be 0.6, right? And duration is 0.8 again. Facebook icon delay is 0.7. Oops. 0.7. And this is 0.8. And the animation here is also squeezed up. Okay, just like that. So now let's run this project, see how it looks like. Share the post, and boom, everything moves up. It moves up one by one because we have each of the delay has the difference between these delays, right? This one is faster than these things. Very nice, right? But now we want this one to be right in the center, and somehow it's grid in, it lies in very nice grid, and it can also run on every screen size, okay? It seems like we will have to use auto layout, and yes, indeed, we'll have to use auto layout. But using auto layout in this case is rather complex, okay? Another case we can do is that we can put each of these icon into one collection view cell, and we'll put that into a collection view, but it's so complex, okay? Much more complex. So in this case, we want something quick and dirty, right? So let me show you something called a stack view. Okay, the animation stuff, we are good to go. I hope that you understand that it's very straightforward, right? Just assign the animation, assign the delay and the duration. There are a lot of other things like in the animation. You can check it out. Okay, just a nice introduction to you to this very nice framework. How about stack view? Stack view is a way for you to group common elements, common UI into one. It's called stack. Okay, so when you want, let's say I want to group 3 of these into one stack, all right, then when I click into these and over these icons, these controls in Xcode, okay, usually these we have 3 controls, right, for auto layout, but now we have another one. It's called the stack. Okay, when I click into this stack icon, it scrape everything up. It push everything onto the stack, onto this thing called a stack view. Okay, so this, it pushes into the stack view. And the nice thing about stack view is that you don't have to deal with auto layouts. All right, and let's say I will select this stack view, goes over the attribute inspector. Let's move it up here. Okay, it has the axis. The axis shows that whether you want to stack it, you want to place it horizontally, these 3 icons horizontally by each other, okay, or you put it vertically like this. But in this case, you see that it push vertically like that. But in this case, you want it to be horizontally. Okay, very nice, right? We'll have other thing called alignment, whether you want it to be fill the whole size of the stack view, or it's aligned on the top. Okay, this one looks good. The distribution, do you want it to be feel equally into the size of each one, or proportionally in according to the image, the content size, the intrinsic content size of each control? Okay, now I know that I go fast here because this one is just a very fast introduction to Stack View. I will create a course specifically for Stack View in Developers Academy online for you. So check it out, okay? After when the course is released, check it out. But now just have a look at this, okay? It's a very nice feature, an incredible feature. Now, the thing is that we want to there's a space between these, want to about 10 points space between these icons. So for the spacing, we can use it for 10. So you can move up like that, okay? Or even we can do 20, okay? It's better. Okay, cool. And I will also select these two icons, and I will put into a stack like this, and boom, it is stacked against each other. Okay, and I will also change this spacing between these two icons. Okay, I'll have to select this stack view, change the spacing here into 20 so that there's a space between these two icons. Okay, but now what we want to do is we want to move, we want to somehow put these two lines of this into two columns, two rows of icons. So very simple, we can stack. Okay, we can choose these two stack view and stack them together into another stack view, and it is called a nested stack view. Okay, we can nest them together. We will put different stack view into one stack view, and that is the place where the power of stack view really comes to place. So when I select these two stack views and I stack them together with this this button over here, this magic button, it will stack together very nicely. Okay, and then so these are, and then by default iOS is really smart about this. It knows that by default we want it to be vertical, right? But if you choose horizontally, it will be like that. But we want it to be vertical, so it like this. This thing is like playing with the storyboard, just that simple. Okay, and we also want the space between two lines about 20. Okay, so space 20 like that, very nice. Okay, and then I will move it right into the middle like this. Okay, but here's the point: when you run the project right now, okay, when I run a project right now, then it will not work immediately. All right, you see that it does move up. It does put these icons into a grid of 3 by 2 like this, right? But the problem is that these icons are too big, and the second is that we want this grid of icons to be right in the center, smaller and right in the center. But why is it that big and it moves up? Well, it turns out that a stack view is also a view. Okay, so that's why when you stack these icons to each other like that, it doesn't know what is the size of these icons. It will use the intrinsic content size of these icons. Okay, the intrinsic content size of these icons is that big, so that's why this one is that big. So right now we cannot avoid auto layout anymore. So I will select these 5 icons. Okay, and then I will go over the pin button. Here we go, the pin button. And then I want to change the width and height to be 65. Okay, I will go on to auto layout these into the same width and height of 65. And then I will add 10 constraints. It should be just 10 constraints because we want to specify that these icons always stays the same width and height of 65. And then we'll add the 10 constraints. Okay, so that should be good. But next, we want to put this stack view right in the middle of this, right? So we want to have to tell auto layout that put this stack view right in the middle. So we can choose this guy, okay, and we put horizontally and vertically in the container like that, and we add that. Okay, and we still have some minor things about the frame, so I can just Control A, okay, Command A, and then we'll update the frames like that, and everything looks great. Okay. All right. So now when I run this project to see how it looks like, okay, and share this post, and boom, everything looks amazing. Okay. All right. So the question is, this thing is rather. I share this about the stack view is rather fast. Yes, this thing is a very fast introduction about stack view. I know that because stack view, there are a lot of things to deal with stack view. So here's the deal. I just want to give you this slide introduction into stack view because it's so incredibly wonderful, right? You see that this is one case, one situation we can use stack view to deal with this kind of UI. So I will create a specific course in Developers Academy. I will release it maybe next week so that we will cover everything you need to know about stack view, and we will use a lot of Spring animations, things like that. Okay, so that you will have all the power you need about stack view starting developing your iOS 9 apps. Okay, so that is that for this project. It is just very fast introduction to Spring animation and the stack view. Okay, and I hope that you enjoy this. So because you are in watching this, so I want to invite you to Developers Academy. And I hope that you have been enjoying this. We have much more content. I want to teach you about building apps. So I want to give you a chance to enroll in Developers Academy today. You can access to all of our projects. I will teach you step-by-step video tutorials. We'll implement real-world apps project. Things like, you can see that things like the Instagram apps, build a social networking apps, instant messaging app, All Things Collection View will build a newsreader app using All Things Collection View. If you're not familiar with auto layout, we have a course for that. Whatever you need, we have a course for that for you. We have how to parse JSON, downloading JSON from REST API, putting that in table view, putting that into collection view, everything you need. Okay, but so join us right now today. Click the button right now today and join us and start taking iOS courses with us today. And at some point you are not satisfied to us, then you can cancel anytime. Okay, you can cancel this anytime. There's no risk here. Okay, usually these courses, they're charging you about $200 each course. Okay, they break it down into courses, and they could charge students $200 each course. But we think that there's a better way for you to learn this. There's a better way that we can serve you to learn iOS development. So that's why when you enroll in Developers Academy today, with these, we will give you access to all of these courses, and we'll roll out new courses every week for you. Okay, with just $27 a month. And you can access to all of our courses right now. We have 15 courses. And in this week, we'll roll out a new course called All Things Optionals, especially for you guys just started out in iOS. Okay, so join us right now today and click the button right down below and use access to all of these courses, all of our course catalog. You can access them anywhere, anytime. You can cancel anytime. You can access all of our future courses. Okay, we'll roll out new courses for you every month, every week. Okay, and I think this is the most affordable way for you to advance your knowledge and your skills like never before. Like this, we design our apps like real-world apps that ship to App Store. A lot of our students ship apps to App Store. So we want you to design and create beautiful apps and powerful apps. So before we get out of this code Hangout, can I give you some more bonuses to make sure that you join us in Developers Academy today? So here's your bonuses today, just specifically for this. Okay, I want to give you the private access to our private Facebook group. Okay, this is really priceless because there are a lot of just striving students like you, developers, in this private Facebook group, and you can partner with those, learn with these students. So I will give you private Facebook access to this group. Okay, and I want you to give you a forum that you can ask me any questions any questions at all when you are a member at Developers Academy online. And this thing usually students, I charge students for this, but I want to give you this because I want to support you in this journey into learning iOS development. So join us right now today, and I see you over the other side. Until next time, I see you in the next Code Hangout. In the next Code Hangout, I think we will learn everything. We will learn about a very exciting thing. We will learn about frames and bounds. Okay. Now, if you are familiar with UI view animation, about the structure, the coordinate system of UI view, then a lot of people, a lot of students are struggling with the ideas of frame and bounds in a UI view, any view. Okay, it has something called a frame and the bounds. So we will talk in great detail about frames and bounds in the next Code Hangout. So until next time, I see you in the next Code Hangout. Stay tuned and click the button right down below. Join us now today.